part of the minor scale that we talked about earlier and fit really comfortably within the pentatonic scale. Now, for our purposes here, we're going to keep our hand in this particular box, in this shape here, so that we get comfortable with where those notes are that lie right underneath our finger. You can vary and fluctuate your picking pattern a little bit too. You don't have to be so literal in just playing only down picking or up picking or even just playing eighth notes, because that's part of playing pentatonic, is that you're able to move around. It's a very bluesy, kind of very slinky feeling kind of pattern to play. I'm going to play along with the track. Do a little experimenting on your own too. Extra notes in the end, but that's part of the fun of it. And really, as long as you're staying within that shape, there really are no illegal notes, as I like to call them, to play. They're all perfectly legal and they're all part of it, and it's definitely part of the metal sound. So let's take this concept of working around the neck and adding some color to our playing even one step farther. We've talked about playing with fifths, playing with octaves. We just worked on the pentatonic scale. Another really simple, colorful way to help incorporate yourself in when you're playing with a guitar player is the use of what's called arpeggios. Now this is where we're picking certain notes that are in a chord, which most guitar players are playing chords. So when your buddy comes over with his guitar and shows you these new chords and these new riffs and parts that he's learned, you'll actually have something to play along with him. Let's take our example of our C major scale first. We're only going to use 3 notes here, so we're just going to keep it real simple. So we start with our first finger on the 4th string on the 5th fret. On that same string, we take our 4th finger, go up to the 8th fret, then we jump up to the 3rd string, and we use our 3rd finger to go up here on the 7th fret. It might all sound confusing, but just keep in mind what we're really doing is we're learning the shape of playing of the notes of that particular scale for this arpeggio, the 1, 1. Groove, very solid, very metal. The last groove that I want to talk about is the use of 16th notes. We've been talking about subdividing with a whole note, a half note, a quarter note. Recently we've been playing with eighth notes. 16th note is something where we subdivide it even farther. And this next groove that I want to go through in this pattern is something that should definitely be played, I think, with a pick. It's nice because you can also incorporate the muting technique that we talked about earlier. For these purposes, I'm going to play the notes on the E string, starting with an open note. Then we're going to go to the 3rd fret, which is a G. And then you can just use your 3rd finger to go up to the 5th fret and play an A. Now for the subdividing of the 16th note, as the 8th note we went 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We're going to subdivide even further, and we're going to go 1E into 2E into 3E into 4E into 1E into 2E into 3E into 4E. Again, great technique, vital part of being a great solid metal bassist. As you may notice, this track sounds a little bit darker and a little bit thicker and meaner than the other ones. That's due in part